In this webisode, what on girth is Bitcoin doing as Bitcoin continues to trade in a $500 range for over a week now? Volatility has come to a standstill. However, we can expect that volatility to return very soon. And as well, what can we expect for Bitcoin over this weekend? Lock your door and grab a tissue because it is about to get sweaty during this technical analysis, guys, as we got this bearish cross with Bitcoin's 21 crossing below the 50-day yesterday. We see something similar shaping up on a lot of these top altcoins, specifically Ethereum. Will we be getting a bearish cross? And if so, what price levels can we expect for Ethereum, Bitcoin, and the rest of the market as we go into this weekend? And as well, will this 10K level hold, guys? We'll be covering 2 articles today that hopefully go into more detail. Wow, milk, lemonade. Let's get this crypto so we can get paid, guys. This is absolutely crucial as we're holding above 10K. We have a lot to delve into with Bitcoin's price. Guys, I 100% think we're going to see a return to volatility very soon because we have seen so much reduced volatility over this past week. It has been absolutely boring, sideways ranging, but this is the calm before the storm. So we're going to be getting into some TA regarding that, and as well, we're going to be covering 2 articles that actually have a lot of meaty, chunky, very interesting information in them as well. So wow, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications so you get updated when we upload new videos like this, guys. And as well, let's try to hit 1,300 likes in this video, and as well, make sure to drop your comment to enter for these ledger giveaways. Absolutely bigger than big. That's huge. So let's actually start off here. You can see after breaking out of this ascending triangle, we entered yet another ascending triangle or symmetrical triangle, whichever you want to call it, but we ended up breaking very bearish out of it. Clearly, guys, you saw we had what looked like almost or potentially like a regular head and shoulder, and we actually broke down out of that. And where we've been wicking down to for over a week now is exactly the top of this triangle. So what is next in store for Bitcoin's price? If we switch to this chart, you guys, clearly we had a very nice run ever since the crash in March. We've basically been on a very parabolic uptrend since March, with the longest being this very long consolidation pattern that we just showed you on this chart, this ascending triangle that ended up breaking very bullish. But now it is completely flipped into support. But will this support hold? That is the big question. It is the billion-dollar question. So on this weekly chart, we're holding still very key above this 21 week. Altcoins as well are kind of trading sideways, just the same as Bitcoin. Now what I want to show you on this chart, guys, is that we've just been stuck in this $500 range, and much unlike these previous patterns where we enter them and we kind of get reduced volatility the longer it goes on, we basically have entered whatever pattern that we have forming. It's only a week old, so again, if this is a macro pattern, we don't have a lot of data to kind of tell what exactly is forming. Remember, this was multiple months of data. This was over a month of data, and currently we're only a week into this. So what exactly is happening next? Nobody knows just yet. But one thing we can say 100% for certain is that unlike both, the first part of this pattern and this pattern that we're shaping up, we have so much reduced volatility compared to then, right? We're trading in a very small range immediately. After breaking into this move, we have consolidated immensely. We're barely getting any price swings, which is something we don't see or didn't see in these 2 previous patterns, right? You see here we moved up very quickly, and then we got a very strong rejection, and price just got less and less volatile as this pattern was forming. Same thing here, very strong move up, very strong move down, and then we consolidated for the rest of that month. Now this time, guys, we immediately break down. Here, and it's as if the price just, will not decide one way or the other which way this thing really wants to swing. We barely got a bounce here. We just immediately got stopped out right around like 10.6, and we've just been trading in this smaller and smaller area since then. As you can see here on this 4-hour chart, this has been incredibly non-volatile. My expectation for this is that we're actually not going to be trading in this range very long. We are going to see a massive return to volatility much sooner, in my opinion, and I'm still leaning towards that being to the downside. As you guys know, if you've been watching any of the last videos over the past 2 weeks, that target we have, slightly under 9,000, between like 85 to 87, we're still eyeing up. And until we get some sort of confirmation or invalidation of those price targets, we have to basically keep that the same, as if, basically nothing has really happened concretely since then. The price has just been getting less and less volatile, which means, in my opinion, we're about to see a move. Wow, and if you guys are interested in trading, make sure to use the links below. We have some very high bonuses and as well 20% off trading fees on Bybit below. So again, if you have experience and you want to support the channel, make sure to use those links below, only if you have experience trading. And guys, I want to jump into this article because there is some very interesting content in here by Omkar Godboli. Bitcoin holds firm above 10K, but strong bounce proves elusive, which is exactly what we just said, right? There has been no bounce. We had a pullback down to like that 10K area, and unlike the last few times we've seen that on these charts, here, we barely had any sort of reactionary bounce. We kind of just came down and the price just stagnated. Compare this to like a really bouncy ball where we get you throw it really high up and then it bounces as soon as it hits the ground. Same thing here. This time it's more like a rock. We just drop and then the rock doesn't bounce at all. It just sits there. Okay, so essentially Bitcoin is trapped in the range of 10,000 to 10,500. A range breakdown would imply a continuation of the retreat of these 12.5K highs, meaning a deeper sell-off. This analyst, Josh Olzukowicz, tweeted earlier, he actually thinks it could drop to 8,000, which I think is completely rational. I think that's completely within the realm of possibilities here. But more interestingly here, this article published on Cointelegraph by Benjamin Pyrus, Bitcoin's 12.5 pump did not do much to impress Peter Brandt. And I 100% agree with this, which is why I kind of want to read you a few sentences here. So what Peter said here is he never got excited about the advance in Bitcoin because he thought it was constructive. The advance had in Bitcoin started in late July, noting the chart looked very good. So his direct quote, I just always felt Bitcoin really needed to get above 14,000 to really be able to say we're back in a trend that will take out all-time highs and go much beyond that. And I completely agree. I've been saying that as well. Breaking this key area, that's why we have this box drawn on here. Breaking this key area is what is really going to yield the explosiveness. And we got so dang close to it within, a little over $1,000 from it. And yet we just got that rejection very similar. We did put in a higher high. Where this was the previous high, back in January of 2020, and this was another lower high, but then we ended up breaking and making a higher high here. But technically, the main thing we wanted to take out was this lower high, back around like that 14K or about 13.8 to be exact, which we didn't do that. And again, that's why I think we're actually leaning more towards some short-term downside here. So it says here, while Bitcoin was surging past 10.5, much of the space felt great optimism. Brandt said he remains skeptical, though, referring to Bitcoin's position near the top limit of a symmetrical triangle chart pattern as his guide. Piercing the boundary of a symmetrical triangle really doesn't mean anything, he said. Okay, I just have a really hard time getting excited about crypto here, he said here. Pretty much agree 100% with that. We pierced out of this symmetrical triangle, but now, again, we're coming back, most likely for a retest. So again, while ultimately I think this is very bullish in the mid to long term, in the short term, meaning within the next 1 to 3 weeks is what I consider short term here. I think price action is very much a mystery during this time period. Again, if you're investing for the next 6 to 12 months, I think you're going to be extremely happy with your investments by then. But if you're looking to get out of the market in the next month or two, then again, I don't think this is the perfect setup for you. I think we're still going to get some downside here until we concretely get a very nice move above 10.6 and then hold that as support, basically holding this purple line as support if breaking above it, coming back to retest, and ultimately even getting back above this 7-year support line, this blue line. That is incredibly key in my opinion. We can just zoom back out and just show you how important I think this line is, which we're now trading below, guys. And again, basically when we're on the other side of this, I tend to flip a little more bearish in the short term. So again, I just definitely think that what I've been saying for the past week basically is still the same here. We have not seen anything significant on these shorter time frames, and I don't see anything necessarily bullish right here. And as the trend has now become to the downside, we have to kind of stick with what the trend is, which is to the downside. Wow, guys, as well. So make sure to drop your comment to enter for these ledgers and leave a comment on what altcoins you are scooping up now, or if we do end up getting another $1,000 to $2,000 pullback in Bitcoin's price, what altcoins you're going to be scooping up. And guys, as well, if you're interested in joining T4, where you can learn charting, trading, following along with my portfolio, getting access to our Telegram, and just kind of updates in there, make sure to use the code BILLIONS at checkout to get 10% off. One-time purchase, and you have it for life. And as well, guys, if you're interested in trading and all of that, make sure to use the links below, some really nice bonuses. And I think there are going to be some amazing trading opportunities coming up in the near future. But I'm just going to be honest, right now, I think is a little too risky to be entering long or short positions, as the market is a little too undecided, and I think it would just be a lot better, again, not financial advice, but in my opinion, what I'm doing as well is just waiting for some sort of confirmation on which way this trend is truly playing out. We only get macro movements in the charts every few months, like this one, where indecisiveness is insanely high, as I feel it is right now. So again, this is only something that happens a few times a year, in my opinion, when it comes to these macro moves. And even more importantly, we're, literally breaking out of this massive pattern. So obviously, this is a time where we are waiting for a lot of confirmations, a lot of macro confirmations. So this is a very big deal right now. It is a little boring, but this is a very critical time. And Ethereum is something we need to keep our eyes on. It's the number 2 cryptocurrency. It has been absolutely crucial over the past few months, and I think Ethereum has a very bright future ahead of it. So as well, we want to see if we get this bearish cross on Ethereum, but ultimately we want to hold above some of these key levels here. In the short term, 340, but basically 300 is a very big level that we want to watch for as well.